Zarandani, Electro Ninja here, and welcome back to Electro Ninja's Lab. In today's video, we're talking Skandar. That's right, guys. Skandar 2 has officially been out for a full week at this point in time, and I have read most of it. By the time that this video has come out, I have probably read the entire book, but at this point in time, as I'm recording this video, I have read most of it. I have not read the entire thing, but good enough for this video. This is going to be the spoiler-free review, and you guys can expect next week I'm going to do a spoilerific review. So definitely look forward to that. But I basically want to give you guys enough time to actually sit down, read the book if you haven't yet, and enjoy it, because this is really fun. Now, one thing that I do want to say about the fact that Skandar has come out is that this time was not the best timing. I think that it was pretty bad to see that Skandar 2 came out at the same time as Sun and the Star, which is the newest Rick Riordan book. Obviously, more people are going to be going to the Rick Riordan book because, well, obviously, Percy Jackson, Heroes of Olympus, Kane Chronicles, Magnus Chase, Trials of Apollo. This is the most recent book, and it's about Nico D'Angelo, which, if you've read all of Percy Jackson and Heroes of Olympus, you know that Nico is, like, one of the best characters ever. Like, I don't know. But this video isn't about them. This video is about Skandar, and oh my gosh, I didn't know it was possible for the book to get better, for the series to get continuously better. Obviously, in the first book, we get to see the island for the first time as Skandar is seeing it. But this book really gets to go in depth with world building and seeing how this whole thing is gonna be going on. Because the majority of the first book, Skandar has to hide himself. He has to keep himself hidden, and he can't really go in depth with his spirit element. But this book really allows us to see how exactly this all plays out. He gets to understand more about the spirit element, and on top of that, they get to build more on the different things that have been talked about, the world building that was in the first book, and we get to see how that plays out in Skandar 2, in Phantom Rider. And honestly, it's a lot of fun. It's fun to see exactly what they're playing through with this entire story. A.F. Stedman is doing a truly fantastic job. Now, obviously, if you haven't read the first book, read the first book before you read Phantom Rider, because obviously this builds on it. But as for the book itself, there's a lot of really cool moments, and I wish I could go in depth with all of them right now, but I'm gonna keep the spoilers to a minimum, because obviously we need to talk about it. First off, one thing that I do think that they did really well is that in the first book, they really didn't do much with relationships. They tried to avoid, like, there were characters who were in relationships, but it wasn't anything with the main characters. These kids were young. We're not going to see them actually be dealing with relationships yet. But they are old enough where they're going to start having these feelings. They're going to start realizing who they are. They're not that old. They're in that age group where they're going to start growing up. They're going to need to learn how to be riders. How they're going to... or they're going to discover different things about themselves that they didn't know before. And one of those things is actually dealing with relationships. There's a lot of really cool moments. First off, friendships. Friendships are going to be tested. There's stuff with Bobby feeling uncomfortable with the whole situation. Not going to get into that too much, but she doesn't feel as strong as she used to. And obviously they have to deal with that. Obviously the main story is dealing with Skandar rather than her, so he sees a lot of what we see, basically everything as he sees it. Is Bobby actually going to come back? Or what is going to happen? There's a lot of what ifs in this moment. And it's a lot of it is understandable, especially with how Skandar was in the first book. A lot of the secrets had to be kept, but these secrets are no longer kept, and she feels, well, defeated and weaker than she should be, especially with certain things happening in this book. But another thing is that we get to see more with Mitchell. Mitchell and Flo really didn't have as much development in the first book as they do in this book. Obviously, Mitchell grew from being a dick to being really good guy, but at the same time, we get to see more of his mindscape as we're seeing him working with Skandar. In the previous book, it was mostly Skandar, Flo, and Bobby, but Mitchell was there because he kind of had to be. But in this book, with Bobby out of the picture, we get to see more from Flo and Mitchell as they're figuring themselves out. Flo is growing stronger and braver, especially considering the fact that she now has to stand up to things that she didn't want, that she didn't even know she had to before. She realizes that her friendships are more important to her than other things, and that is truly amazing. And as for Mitchell, I've been dancing around the point because I don't want people to get mad at me, but Mitchell is gay. um, like, that wasn't really that clear in the first book, which I think that was kind of weird. But I really like how how we discover this in the book, in Skandar 2. There's actually a moment where Jamie and Mitchell are talking about different things, and there's this cute little moment where he blurts out that as a blacksmith, fire is really important, and he just does the equivalent of blushing. His hair bursts into flames, and it's really cute, to be very blatant. It's just a really cute moment where the two of them are clearly crushing on each other, but it looks like they may not necessarily be able to completely... They're not certain how they're going to say it. And like I said, it's really cute to see how these characters go. On top of the fact that there's a little bit later on where they're where they have to share secrets with certain people. And we don't hear what the secrets are, but Mitchell is surprised to find out that they already know his secret, which I have a feeling it might have something to do with that whole crush on Jamie. So there's that. Which I also have to say, I'm kind of impressed that the first crush that we have blatantly seen at this point in time is Mitchell on Jamie, and Jamie with Mitchell. Clearly they have a crush. They both have a crush on each other. It's cute. But it also looks like both Flo and Bobby kind of have a little bit of a crush on Skandar, and Skandar's just oblivious. But it's hard to say exactly how that is going to be going on down the line. Obviously, they're still developing. They're still trying to figure themselves out. I don't expect it to be perfect at any point whatsoever. What exactly is going to happen with Mitchell and Jamie, we'll see. But there's a lot of really cute moments that we get to see. And like I said, I love the relationships that are here. We also get to see a little bit more from other writers and how they react to a lot of this situation currently. Sure, it's a lot of bullying, but we get to see how different characters react to certain things. How certain characters, even though a lot of people really hate Skandar for being a spirit wielder, we get to see little bits and pieces of people who actually do care about him. People who don't give a shit about how everyone else sees him because they know that he's a good guy. Mostly this is with Jamie, his parents, as well as Flo's parents. But we also get to see people who are against it, such as Mitchell's father, as well as a good majority of the people on the island. But we also get to see little bits and pieces of people who we think are not going to like Skandar whatsoever. They hate Skandar with a fiery passion, but they seem to be going towards at least friendship. And I'm excited to see how exactly this is going to play out. There's one specific character who is really in depth with this, and it is Amber. You may remember her from the first book, but her father was a spirit wielder, and there's a lot of stuff with her about her trying to figure out, okay, do I actually hate spirit wielders and stuff like that. And obviously, near the beginning, she does, but as she starts to see that Skandar is actually a decent human being, she's conflicted, and it's interesting. I don't want to go into too many details with that because there's a lot of stuff that's really spoilery near the ending. So there's that. So just remember, Amber is important. As for other characters, most of them just aren't that important. We obviously get to see some more stuff with Agatha, aka Skandar's aunt, being a little bit more involved because of the fact that she is really the only other spirit wielder on the island who actually still can use the spirit element to a degree. Obviously, she can't use it right now, but she is very much involved with Skandar's training because they knew that they were going to need a spirit wielder to be Skandar's trainer, teacher. But obviously, there was a lot of issues with that. Obviously, in the previous books, Skandar freed a lot of the spirit wielders, but at the same time, there's still a lot of divide. There's a lot of people who hate spirit wielders, and he has to learn how to deal with that throughout the book, and it's really interesting. Obviously, lots of different people have their biases against Skandar. There's some new characters implemented, such as Rex, who is very important. I'm not going to go into too much details with him, but he is probably going to be very important moving forward. I think that he's going to be very involved in the third and fourth book, possibly even the fifth book. But we'll have to wait and see at this point. Obviously, there's Nina Kazama, who is the current Commodore. So she's very important to the story, and she's going to be important for the third book as well. It's looking like. I'm not going to tell you too much about that, but she is very important. We get to see a new side of the island with the Peregrine Society. Not going to go into too much detail with that, but there is that. But there's a lot of different things here and there that you get to see everything. It's actually shocking. Obviously, you get to see more with the Flo's family, since they are Sadlers, and how exactly that plays out. And there's lots of little cute moments throughout the entire story, and I'm really excited to see what else is there. There are some cool little moments as well with Skandar learning to use the spirit element to a better degree, and also his fear of using it in front of people, because people are scared of it. Just for an example, Skandar, near the beginning of the book, he uses the spirit element when they are when they're in the air, and everyone just refuses to go against him, and that is very sad. But at the same point, it shows that there is a lot of bigotry and against spirit wielders. What exactly that means, who knows? But I for one am really excited to see exactly what's going to be going on. I'm rambling a lot about how much I'm excited to see what's going on, but the point is that with Skandar 2, I do truly believe that the Skandar series is on the right path, and that A.F. Stedman is going to continue to make truly amazing books. Honestly, with Skandar 1 being an instant hit, I can't imagine them not finishing the series, especially considering the fact that this book has continued to be better. I do think that I think that the timing was a bit iffy because obviously Skandar 2 came out right at the same time as The Sun and the Star, but at this point in time, I do think that once all of the hype around Sun and the Star finishes, I think that that Skandar is going to continue to rise up, and more people are going to be really excited to read it. I don't know exact details on exactly how much more people are going to be excited about this, but I think that it's just going to keep getting better. And also, real quick, can everyone who is watching this video, if you are an artist, please send me Skandar fan art, because I recently looked it up and I'm just like, how is there so little? Like, granted, this is a brand new book, but legitimately, if you Google Skandar fan art, you see more from the actor than you do for the series. And for those of you who are wondering what the heck I'm talking about, I am literally talking about the actor who played Edmund in Chronicles of Narnia. I talked about this in my Skandar 1 book, is that he happens to share, that's the same name. But legitimately, there's more fan art for Edmund than there is for Skandar because of the fact that he's literally that's his name. Um, so, if you haven't done so, tweet it at me because I would love to see it, but also tweet it at AF Stedman because I'm sure she would absolutely love to see all of the fan arts that you guys do, because I for one would really love to see it. But yeah. Anyways, guys, hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please make sure to leave a like, leave your thoughts and theories down in the comments below, and I will see you guys next week to actually do the spoilerific review. I don't know how long that one is going to be, but this one was already 16 minutes plus, so I expect that one to be much longer. But anyways, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. I've been Electro Ninja, and I will see you guys next time. But on!